Hello, hello, hello again, everybody. We are back. This is AltJake. You're listening to AltJake Takes On. Here, as always, with my buddy George. How you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, sir. How are you?
I am good. I'm excited to get into our show here today, what we want to cover. But is there anything in the realm? Well, for the people, yeah, I know we want to cover. We got to do a little preface before we get into it. I'm sure people have seen the title, so they know the subject of it. But yeah, what you got for us? Yeah, I feel like our roving reporter, our boots on the ground. You're in a war zone.
I listen to Mr. Sponge, and I have no problem with him. But there's a couple things going on here. Hogan has been dead for 3 weeks now, sir. 3, 4.
I think at least. I mean, yeah, because it was before
July
SummerSlam,
25th,
and SummerSlam
right?
was yeah.
Okay.
I think we're coming right up on a month.
Right. Not buried or cremated as of yet. Still on ice.
That's crazy. And for those who don't know, it's Bubba the Love Sponge is the reporting that George is getting it from. But it's at least been a month because it was. I think actually today is a month. It was a Thursday,
July 25th.
Yeah. So I mean, like 28 days. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But that's
so I've been kind of listening to what's been going on, and some of it's far-fetched, and he's been wrong on some things, and he's admitted when he's wrong. But
they had
he has come out and basically said, and today was the day Bubba the Love Sponge thinks, not George, Bubba thinks, that Hogan may have overdosed on pain pills. Okay?
Well,
which, and what I just saw came on our show, as I popped up on the show, TMZ reports that Hulk Hogan may be the victim of medical malpractice.
What?
I just saw this.
Wait. So hang on. Hang on. So wait, Bubba's reporting.
He's not reporting.
Not reporting. My bad. I was just that was where. Okay, so his opinion is, and where did he get that from? In this
because he was with he was Hogan's best buddy, right? They did pain pills together. Hogan has been on pain pills for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. No, he's had the. I mean, that's of all the Hogan lies stories thing. The amount of surgeries. I mean, that's record. There's medical records. Yeah, he had
100%.
Yeah.
So he has actually participated with Hulk in taking those, and he's come out and said it. That's fine. And he's always said he went through the wrestlers that have died young from pain pills and stuff like that. They always die usually in their sleep. One thing I did when I was a former addict, so to speak, I would never take them before I went to bed because I was afraid my heart would stop.
Oh, yeah.
I never took them because it slows down your heart.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is muscle relaxers, but they relax your muscles like that. And your heart's a muscle. And that's, oh, man.
I'm like, okay, not going to work for me. But he was talking about it today. And he's like, I think that it's possibility that Hogan may have overdosed. And I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe. But then his physician is a pill mill doctor, basically.
I mean, it is that area.
He can't write scripts anymore. They won't get filled at CVS, Walmart, or any of the big places. They only get filled at like mom and pops. So I believed I kind of was leaning that way. And then when I saw this headline from TMZ just 10 minutes ago, I'm starting to maybe think he might be onto something. So,
oh man, and hey, this is not the news story I was expecting to get into with this one for this of it. But
I just saw it. You know how you pop in and it says good afternoon and all your things pop up. Yeah, it's right there. I'm looking at it right now. Right.
No, and I mean that's just did Bubba and Hogan reconcile, or was he talking about okay that was my first thing. That was just making sure. That's what I thought. I was gonna say I didn't know that if they had, and I didn't think
Hogan told Brooke that he knew Bubba didn't have anything to do with the tape swindling thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he told Brooke that, but they never talked. They didn't talk at all.
Right. No, that was right. No, and that's what I thought. I was just making so so Bubba's going off the information. I mean, I could see it happening for sure, just because of and I mean, didn't Hogan just have a surgery? I mean, that's why he couldn't speak, correct? That's So I mean,
he was there's no now unless something changed in the time I've had surgeries. you get out, you get a prescription, you got pain medication right off the bat. So that's just how it works.
Right. And I feel like I know a lot of things with the crisis in this country with, the opioid issues that people have all over. Like, I know if you go to the dentist anymore, they don't give you much, like they give you ibuprofen or whatever. But I feel like with actual surgeries, that's the time they give you real, like, when I had to get a wisdom tooth pulled that I couldn't have done a few years ago because of where it was, and I had to go to a good oral surgeon, and they gave me like 5 small ones, and it was like, this is all you can get, and like the bottle was like red, like it's a whole different world now. But if you're in that, but when you're having as many, I mean, he's had, just on his back alone, he's had more surgeries than most families combined. And that's, I mean, another one of the stories that he has that isn't a lie is he shrunk, like literally doing that leg drop every single night, sometimes 2. It's shortened him. Like it was all compressed on his spine. I mean, that's true. And if you look back in the day, or like at big events when he would get up for that leg drop, I mean, you jump up and land on your ass on
he was
on
up
that
there.
canvas. Yeah. I mean, if you ever fallen down, I mean, that's on your tailbone. So I mean, it makes sense why he would have such a painkiller issue. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, unfortunately, especially he's of that generation. I mean, Bubba's not wrong. We can go through the list of them all. And even if people that it wasn't the painkillers that specifically caused it, if the moment, like, it's positive. Yeah.
Test Brian Adams crush.
Yeah. Mr. Perfect. I mean, probably Rick Rude. Yeah. I mean, there's literally
Gino Hernandez.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and that's just, so it's not out of that realm at all happening. I would have been surprised within that. I kind of just felt like, I mean, I almost feel like with Hogan, and once he heard he couldn't speak anymore and it might be permanent, I just thought like he gave up. I feel like that happens with people. There's a point where you just like, all right,
you're going to see there's a lot more that I'm not going into, because we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
All day talking about the police are holding back all the camera footage, a 911 call. They're not releasing anything. All this stuff is going on. And there's just so much happening. It's just even professional people are saying the way they're handling it's all backwards.
I had no knowledge of this at all.
Yeah, there's a lot more. I just don't. I'm not going to spend a half an hour with these people.
All right. Well, I mean, hey,
you could.
Well, I was just going to say, if people want us to, hey, put it in the chat.
Maybe Sunday.
I'm happy. There you go. It could happen in Spaces too. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be opposed to diving down that rabbit hole of things. It's one of those, like, it's funny when we, like, a lot of our shows we do in reviews of these type of things and people enjoy them. I got a few really good responses from the episode that we did that was more news based, because that was what was happening in it. So hey, whatever people want us to cover, I'm happy to talk about. We're just trying to hear it. We George and I have fun talking no matter what. We were hanging out for an hour before we were started to record. Like, we're friends. But if whatever you guys want us to talk about, it's fun. We're go with. So,
and again, the stuff I'm talking about is from Bubba the Love Sponge talking on his radio station on YouTube. Yeah, I watch it there, and you put it on at work. What he says. So.
Yeah, you put it on while you're working. It's perfect. You can report back to it. Like I said, you're a roving reporter. You're boots on the ground. You're in the what Michael Cole used to do before he became an announcer with WWE. It was Michael.
See, I was getting to the point today when he brought it up. I'm like, he's bringing it up too much, I thought. Because it's like every week, it's at least 2-3 times a week. And I'm like, I mean, let it rest already, Yeah, but then today he mentioned this, and then 10 minutes before we started, I saw it on TMZ. I'm like, okay, now it's different. So
I mean, as long as if he's not rehashing the same stuff if he's doing 3-4 hours a week, 3 times a week of the same topic,
it's only a segment.
Yeah,
maybe once every 2 or 3 shows he does an hour.
Yeah, and see, and I bet you, and that's good, because then that's at least where he can put a good amount of, because I'm sure he's getting I'm not, I haven't paid attention to it, but I would assume that if you looked at his clips, like those are probably the most watched. You're going to get people to pay attention to it. So yeah, I was just thinking if he was doing like, 2-3 hours to show, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it'd be like, hey buddy, calm it down. All right. Yeah. Right. That's a bit
but to his credit, what he is doing is when he's wrong, he's saying he's wrong. And he corrects it with what he's finding out information wise.
Hey,
so he's updating him. He's he's stacking himself up. He's updating the story, which is good. So then you take it a little more seriously. I mean, people make fun of the guy and whatever. That's fine. But the way he's presenting it to me, I can follow it because he says, I was wrong here. Here's why I was wrong. And here's what the correct procedure is. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's respect to anybody who, actually admits when they're wrong. Like, that's especially in any type of reporting or entertainment industry. I mean, hell, look at Dave. He doubles down when he's wrong, or triples and quadruples down. That's what most people do in this world. That's one of my favorite things is if somebody's wrong and they admit it. Like it's not, they don't want it to be, but I'd rather you, hey, admit it and then let's move forward from it because that's what adults do. Children double down and lie and hide. I didn't throw paint on the wall trying to hide the giant spot behind them. Come on, so that's good. It sounds like I said, I haven't listened to any of it. I just get the reporting from you and I trust you. And it sounds like at least he's giving it. Here's what I've heard. I'm just reporting back into it. But
tomorrow I have to listen because now it's been reported in the press. So now it's going to change.
That's crazy. I knew they had the funeral, so I just assumed he was buried or cremated.
No, not yet.
Whoa, okay.
So something's gonna pop, and when you hear it, don't be surprised.
All right.
You heard me say it based on what I learned. So
yeah, no, that is interesting information. I will put that out. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, no, that's. Shit, I might have to listen to it for a bit. I'm just curious that I didn't realize that there had been the reporting of it, and this is all brand new to me, and I'm kind of baffled by it.
Yeah, you weren't expecting to go here.
But it's interesting. That's the thing is, I wasn't expecting to, but I'm here. Let's go. Like it's very. It's just it's. I mean, there's a reason why like true crime is so popular these days within it because it's intriguing. Like, wait, what could have happened? Because then I mean, I'm sorry, but. With the stuff that people have said about the wife, I'm not accusing anything, but your brain first goes, well, did he if it wasn't overdose, did he do it or was he overdose? You know what I mean?
Well, he just Bubba brought that up too. He thought maybe Sky put something in as injected something into his report or something. But then he said, he goes, no, I'm taking that back.
Okay.
I think he accidentally killed himself. But
just like you just said port, so he's like, there's a point too. I mean, remember with Miss Elizabeth, it wasn't like she was like, injecting herself or doing something. She just took the wrong amount of pills with wine. And I mean,
plus
we've all heard that terrible 911 call.
Today, pills ain't what they used to be at all.
That too.
Also look up Matthew Perry on that.
Right. Yeah. So, you hear about that all the time too with it. I mean, I live in a state that touches the border, so I fully understand some of the things that we hear about with it of what the police sees or whatever and stuff, and they're all what they're laced with and what they could do. Yeah, that's
dude, the fentanyl thing is crazy to me.
It's out of control. Yeah, that's where. So it doesn't have to be a lot to take down somebody, no matter what the tolerance is or what he's done in the past. The other ones, because it's not the same thing. Yeah, no, and I was by no means, just so it's on the record for anybody listening this part of a look. I'm not accusing his wife of anything. I was just saying, hey, you've got to think of anything of seeing what this. Is there going to be an autopsy or is there?
That's the other thing. They're not.
Report.
There's.
That's
the thing.
You're right.
There had to be a tox. There has. Okay, maybe go down it. There's no. There was no autopsy because they say he died of natural causes. So now that's a whole controversy.
Right.
Toxicology would have to have been done when he entered the hospital because they draw blood automatically when you enter the hospital. So that probably has been done already, but they're not releasing any of that. Okay. No, also, when he was on. Again, this is Bubba reporting to me when he was in the ambulance transporting to, they gave him 2 doses of Narcan.
Okay.
So that's usually for drug overdoses. However, I think the new protocol is if all else fails, hit him with Narcan. I think.
Oh,
I'm not doctor.
okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that last part, but I knew the first part because back to what, I know that's a lot of times with, back to when I had my teeth worked on and stuff, like if I'd gotten any more than what they'd given me, they told me that's the limited amount you can get without, where they have to also prescribe Narcan with it. Like, because of it. Yeah. So, but I mean, I didn't realize that he was taken away in an ambulance. I thought he died in the home. So,
oh, that's more story.
Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. No, that's interesting. This was, I should have hit the breaking news thing before this.
And we'll dip into maybe on Sunday a little more. I just know what's going on. I mean, whether he's right or wrong, he was proved right when Brooke Hogan called him on the show, and he was proved right there. So there you go.
Yeah, and like you said, he'll admit if he's wrong, and no.
So
I mean, I guess there's no easy way to transition into it. So we might just. I got nothing else. I mean, unless you got anything else to cover, I guess.
How do we go to match of the week?
Right, we will hit it.
Classic match of the week.
Bam. We're gonna dive right into it. We're going to go right into WrestleMania 18, Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, icon versus icon. I was, we like when we made up this idea to do the classic match reviews, we each wrote down a list of matches that we wanted. And, I've just kind of been picking them differently for whatever. And when it was my turn, I wasn't sure what I was going to pick. And immediately I was like, well, got to pick my favorite Hogan match. And I mean, of all of them, even it's probably like in the list of best WrestleMania matches, if it's not Hogan Andre, it's got to be this one. If just
for the crowd reaction,
right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Just for the moments. If for nothing else, there's a reason why this is the iconic picture. Just that moment. The rest of the match is fantastic and fun too, but that moment, what is it? They're in the SkyDome in Toronto. It's March 17th, 2002. 68,237 fans in attendance. We know WWE does whatever with the numbers, but if you just want to say 60,000 people, that's a lot of freaking people. That's a lot of loud Canadians. And it was the buy rate. 860,000 people bought it on pay-per-view. And that's always I always feel like when they say, the pay-per-view buys, like it's one person per everybody. How many of those were 3, 5, 10 people? I watched this with a group of 6, 7 guys at one of my buddies' houses, and I can remember all of us just kind of stunned watching this. And
because when they do the introductions, it's everything changes right there.
Yeah,
right when they come out, everything's flipped over. Like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd cheers both. I mean, because Rock still gets
Hogan got mad. Yeah, no, they weren't expecting that.
No, yeah, Hogan gets a lot of it, gets tons of cheers, but Rock doesn't really get booed initially.
No, he gets the casual.
Yeah,
golf
people are still happy. Yeah, and there's certain people because there's signs in the audience, and there's parts of the crowd that were really, really into Rock. I mean, I can remember basically at my buddy's house, we're all sitting on the couch, the chairs, or whatever, and I don't know how many of us were there, but let's say there were 7. There was 4 for Hogan and 3 for Rock or whatever, and we were enjoying it and just watching. I can remember though this moment where we all just kind of stopped talking. It's like one of those moments in a movie where you just see them looking back and forth and the sound and just, even Kyoto was pumped. Like Mike Kyoto was fired up for this one. And it was awesome. Like he's screaming and getting it on. Like I was just that initial 2 minutes when the bell rings, but before they touch.
Yeah.
That is what professional wrestling is about. And that is why, yes, moves are fantastic. And it's awesome to see a 5-star match or whatever you want to call it. But when you've made a connection with the audience as great as both these two men had done by 2002, that's what it's about. And that's the crowd just screaming. It's an amazing scene.
I kind of like to know how WWF didn't expect in Toronto that Hogan would be the fan favorite.
I really don't either. And that's why, like, the fact that there was other matches after this, just, oof, woof.
Yeah, that was
And bad. They should have figured it out I mean, because Rock cuts a promo like a half hour into the show after the first 2 matches or whatever with Coach, and the crowd laughs at his jokes, but there's times where they're booing. Like you can see, you can hear it then. Yeah, if you know what's coming, you can feel it. And even when Hogan is with the NWO in the back after the hardcore match or whatever, or maybe the tag match. I watched the whole show, but I was supposed to just focus on this, but just you could hear him like because it starts with Hall and Nash talking and the crowd's like whatever, and Hogan walks in at the end and they're cheering, and they're not cheering because he says I'm going to go at it alone because he hadn't said it yet. They're just cheering their heads off. Like no, it's cool to see. Like it really is. It's one of those things where because I can remember growing up, and this I can admit it. Like when I was in high school, this would have been 3 years after high school, where, the people that grew up like after the Hogan era, like we got it, but you're too cool for school. Like I didn't care about Hogan. Like, yeah, whatever. And I remember watching it in this moment of being like, that's over. Like that is a star. Like it's just different. And if you can feel it with that audience. And
that was good to see from my guys that we hung out with watching this. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I said, you're sitting there and they introduce Hogan and you can tell like, holy crap, this is not going the way Hogan's supposed to be the heel and Rock's supposed to be the baby face, but Rock really doesn't work heel during this match.
And Hogan starts shredding. I also like King at the beginning, make sure he said it twice. He made the comparison of Tyson Ali and Ruth versus Bonds, and he made sure to say it twice, meaning it was a Vince line to make sure he got that in. But yeah, at the beginning, like even Hogan's like, "You don't mean nothing to me, boy," and he's trying to talk trash, and he's talking loudly like at the crowd to get them to heel for him, and then he pushes Rock into the corner, and they just explode.
Yeah.
They just fucking explode.
I think you could tell if you go back and watch the intros and stuff, like they pick up on it really quick.
Yeah.
So
they're masters of psychology.
They soak it. Yeah. They're both of them are at the top of their game at this point, but they both pick up what's going on and they have to make a switch kind of midstream, but they don't really change the way they work at all. Cause Hogan, even when he's a top-notch baby face,
right, he
still would rake your back.
I was just gonna say that.
Like, that's a heel move. Come on.
He does the back rake. Name me. The only other person I could think of that did the back rake was Ric Flair, and he was always the ultimate heel. Exactly. Like it's great. And like the crowd pops when he does the back rake too. And you can see him like trying not to smile and smirk. But I mean, let's be real. He's loving every second.
Oh yeah. Why as a professional wrestler? When you realize you and your partner in this dance have gotten 60,000 people in the palm of your hand.
Just right.
And you don't have to do anything, which they proved at the beginning when they stare at each other for 3 minutes. And they look back and forth at the crowd. That's nothing. Zero.
And then they locked up. Yeah. And then they lock up and the crowd gets, and then Hogan just pushes Rock. Like not even like tosses, not a hip toss, not a slam, just and like grunts and throws back and just pushes him with his 2 arms, and Rock does like a back roll into the corner. That's the lightest bump you can take in wrestling, and the crowd is just losing our shit, man. It's great, like that.
Yeah, I wonder how many actual bumps are in this match.
Right? I should have done this. Yeah, right. The bump tracker. No. And they're smart with it. Like they know what they're doing. They keep it, they keep the crowd into it. Both of them too are great with the body language and then the facial feature and the facial reactions too, to get the crowd, not only the people right in the front 5 to 10 rows, but the people at 5 to 10 rows from the top. They really get that over, and the people at home, they knew what they were doing, and they really are able to. Like Rock's face when Hogan gets the pop, like he just sells it so well. And then I can't get enough of this kind of stuff. I forgot how much I love this match. Every time I watch it, I'm like, this is one. It's easily in my top 3 favorite matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, if you haven't really seen this match, I have to ask you what's wrong.
Right? Yeah. And if you don't like it, like the only people that don't get it like this match are people that are like Dave Meltzer, that are just too into work rate, and they got to do.
Time he liked it, but
I mean, I thought he rated it only like 3 though, and he was going up to 5 by then.
No, at that point the scale was actually scale.
All right. Okay. So, that's right. He wasn't using the hair dye that melted into his brain and ruined him yet. Okay, I'll give it that.
If you get this match a 3, that's acceptable for me.
Yeah. I just feel like with the people that care so much about people doing moonsaults and dives and everything else, like that's fun, but that's the stuff for the people on the lower part of the card that need to make the connection to the audience. They do that to connect to the audience. Once you've connected, you can just, do hip tosses and push people into the ropes. And I mean, both these men are just, like I said, absolute masters of psychology and working that crowd. And like you said, there's got to be a point where they locked up, where they're both just like, we got him, brother. Like, just, yep, this is great. Like, just the absolute happiest in your work. Like, yeah. Like when you're presenting a project at work or doing something. For me, I'm a recruiter. Like if I would hire a class of people, because I would hire new hire classes, and like, you got a class of 12. Oh, all 12 graduated and are still here 8 to 12 months later. Exactly. That's how they felt. Just like, we got this. And here's the bump Hogan takes from the clothesline.
I don't think at this point in time he's not in the best physical shape either. At this point, no. He looks great as always.
Yeah. I mean,
years have caught up to him at this point.
Yeah, no, like we were talking about earlier, his back. I mean, the leg drop might not be the most exciting finisher in the world, but when you're taking it every night, and those rings aren't that padded. You're jumping up and literally landing on his butt and on his tailbone.
Yeah, at that point it was different. These guys are out. These guys are working 300 shows a year, and he did that thing. He did that leg drop every time.
Yeah, and back in there's not every match, but when in important ones, he could get some serious height for that sucker too. And so, as
the years went on, the height got lower.
Yes, definitely. It definitely became more. Yeah, just kind of dry. Yeah. Yeah, by this point it wasn't although for the second one for this one, I feel like he got up as high as he physically could in this
he was
match.
Pumped, dude. He was pumped. Can you
The
imagine?
adrenaline was firing him through. Oh
yeah,
God,
can you imagine you're like, okay, Rock's got to beat me here. Damn, my time is up, blah blah blah. Fans don't like me anymore. And he comes out and hears that, and what goes on during the match, that would make me go,
you could see it in it. So he's trying to, and there's points too where you could literally just see the guy like just loving every second of it. I mean, they booed the hell out of the sharpshooter. Not only because it was Rock on Hogan, they were Hogan fans, but also they booed for Bret Hart. Yep, that was a tribute to Bret right there. That was Toronto reaching out to Calgary and like, hey, we love you. No, that was great. I think that was the loudest boos of the entire match was when Rock put him, and then Hogan gets to the ropes, but there's no ref. The Kyoto taking the bump by then. And then he pulls him back and he's tapping out. I also shout out to JR and King. They really they're two old school professionals that know what they're doing, but they really sell the moments and tell you what to look at from Hogan.
Yeah, they were at their peak during this.
They really were. They really were. Kings really sell it. And they're at their peak too, where the Attitude Era from like 98 to 2000 is great now, but there's times where it got a little bit too, especially
a
little gross.
Jerry Lawler was just getting stupid with the puppy.
Yeah, but by this point where they were starting to transition to like, this is one of the times where I feel like it's almost underrated, but this was great television a lot where they were still could be TV 14 before they were getting to PG, but still good type of stuff and telling good stories. And before Vince lost his goddamn mind, let's be real. Yeah, that's really what's important. But after this, then we get the Hulk up, which there was the loudest boos was during the Rock Sharpshooter. The loudest cheers was during this.
One second here.
Sorry, my bad.
Did he? Okay, I don't see the belt. So he took off his belt and did the whipping thing, right? This is after the whipping.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he's got it on here, right? And then he gets him out of it, and then he whips him for it.
Another babyface maneuver,
right? And then Rock does give him the first rock bottom that he gives him. And that's how he gets out of because Hogan whips him with the belt because after this, and then it's after this. What happened? That's where it is. You got it. So what happens after this is Rock lets go and goes over to Kyoto to try to get him up, and Hogan hits him in the balls.
Yep. Baby face all the way through.
I was just super baby face. And the crowd pops. And Rock
loved it.
And Rock, one of his best, like Rock was always great at selling certain things. One of his best things sells ever is a nut shot. The way he would like chicken wing his legs and go, oh, like he was just great with it.
Yeah, and he sells the belt whip good too. When he
does.
You got to arch your back and move your arms. I wish you could see what I'm doing.
But that's it though. I mean, and that's that point where it starts, and that's where Hogan starts to take over, but then Rock hits him with the rock bottom, and then he starts to cheer and he's going to attack Hogan. And then the loudest crowd got during that was this moment here where he hulks up and gives him the you, shakes the finger. Oh my God. Like I got chills talking about it, and it's 115 degrees out behind me. I'm right by my back door. Like this is just, I mean, if you watch this match and you don't just feel like you're just not, see, I don't want to say someone's not a wrestling fan, but just what are you watching this stuff for? But like, this is where people are like, oh, if you don't like the GCW Super Indie Mega Mayhem match with Invisible Man and hand grenades, you don't like wrestling. Like, no, this is wrestling. This is what it's about. You got 60,000 people losing their fucking minds over this, and just and Hogan almost gets him. He gets the big boot. He gets the leg drop. He looks like and Rock kicks out. And then he hits him with another big boot, and he's going to do the leg drop, and Rock gets out of it, or he gets up and avoids the leg drop. But so Hogan lands, gets him with the rock bottom, and Rock wins 1, 2, 3. It's not even that long of a
There
match,
was hope.
really.
There was hope for Hogan.
Oh, and the
people bought in. People bought in hook, line, and sinker.
But I'll give the crowd a lot of credit too, where they knew what they were doing. They knew what was happening in front of them. Like they were cheering for Hogan, and when he didn't get it after he did the leg drop, he did the big boot and the leg drop. Like they almost kind of did, like it's almost like when you cheer somebody in sports when they're walking off the field, like, and they're probably going to get the loss, but they gave a good effort. Like, hey man, you pitched 7 good innings, you're down 2-1 to one of the best teams in baseball. Good job, man. You did you know what I mean? And we enjoy what we saw. And when Rock wins, they pop for him, but they don't boo because they knew they just saw something great. But it's only like a 16:24 is the length, and they spent the first 3 minutes just looking at each other.
So here's here's one of my biggest regrets in my life. I had a chance to go to this, and I did not.
Oh, because you were in I forgot about Buffalo.
I was in Buffalo. It's a 3-hour drive, so
right.
Easily could have went. My friend had tickets. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to go.
So no, wow, no, that's a regret. That's my dad, like, and I talk about my dad a lot because he was my best friend. But when he was alive, his favorite phrase, and the phrase I try to live my life by, is you don't regret the things that you do, you regret the things that you don't. And he got that phrase because he was born in 1950, and two of his best friends, one of them being his best friend that he had for the rest of his life, were going to Woodstock, and he could have gone because he lived in upstate. He lived in New Jersey. Could have drove up. He was like, nah, I don't want to go. The only till the day he died, his number one regret was Woodstock. I feel like that's more, but I understand the feeling with that. But man. Yeah, if you would have gone, this probably would have been like the first or second match we had to review.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Yeah, we were talking about matches we went up, but I didn't realize. But it was great too, where Hogan gave Rock his moment. Like Rock hits his poses, and Hogan does the
old man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when we were talking earlier where he looked great and looked healthy and looked at it, and he literally the ref hits the 3 count and he like ages like it's the end of Raiders.
Yeah, it was amazing. His face changed, his body language changed. I'm like, when did he get to be 90 years old? What the hell?
Yeah, it seriously was. He's
walking like real slow, like an old guy walks.
And holding his ribs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. No, it was the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just bam. Just man. Yeah. Just instant. Yes. Great. But then Rock leaves and gives the cheers, and and it's good. And then Nash and Hall kind of come in. They don't come down the ramp. They come in from around by the announcers and attack Hogan.
Well, they talk to him first. Ask him why.
They talk to him a bit. Yeah. Yeah. But And then they attack him, and Rock comes back down to the ring. Because they had to have the moment where, I mean, if you ever watch any of Something to Wrestle With, which, for the first like 30 to 40 episodes, that show was great until, Conrad decided to get a big head and like not be cool, just yell at Bruce the whole time. But one of the favorite phrases of that show, Hogan must pose. And that was that moment where they had that, where Hogan's going to leave and he comes back in and they hit the ear one and the biceps, and it was great, and the crowd just eats it up.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 more matches after that.
Yeah, I don't know.
One was Jazz versus Trish versus Lita, which was a 6-minute match. But yeah, Triple H versus Jericho for the main
Triple H
event.
And Jericho had to go on.
That nobody remembers that match at all. Like, okay, Triple H won, great, whatever. Nobody remembers. Just like, for people that are too young to remember watching this live or knowing this, like, I feel like they have to think this was the main event. You know what I mean? Like, wait,
it should have been the main event, but Triple H was in that stage of his life where he couldn't.
Yeah, he was, and
it should have been the main event.
Yeah, and Triple H knew the card to play of like the title's got to go on last. Title's got to go on last. Yeah, no, that's. Triple H was, that was, and I mean, he
learned a lesson.
Yep. No, for sure, because both he and Jericho talk about having to try to go to that match and the crowd just being deed. Yeah. No, I mean, how are you gonna follow that? Like, literally,
it could have been the best match in the world and still wouldn't have mattered to those fans.
Wouldn't have mattered. No.
Wouldn't have mattered.
I mean, it's one of those things where there's times where they build things up or say things that, but when they called this icon versus icon, that wasn't overstating it. They were, when people use the word epic, they use it too much, it's not really, it kind of dilutes it, but there's certain things that actually deserve titles. And that one did. That was
the old icon versus the new icon.
The Ali Tyson comparison was really the best one to get.
That
was always the one that felt with it, where you just, the greatest from 20 years before. And I mean, that's really what it was. The greatest of the early to mid 80s to the greatest of the mid to late 90s. And the other thing about it, which I want to make sure we at least brought up, was that people always said, but Austin was the one that made the most money with it and blah, blah, blah with it. And yeah, he did. And he was for the small period of time where his neck allowed him to be the biggest star in the business. He absolutely was the biggest star the business has ever seen for that 1.5, 18 to 20 month period that he had. The thing about it is, though, is Hogan, it just makes more sense with it being The Rock. Hogan was more of the showman with it. It just made sense if you're going to have like the star, because Austin was Austin, but Rock was the one that was going to host Saturday Night Live. That was going to
Austin was not working with Hogan.
No, that's true.
That too. Happen.
But even if that would, like, let's just say like, he didn't hate. Yeah, no, because Austin, because of what happened at WCW, because Hogan wouldn't work with them, and he said some terrible things. I don't know the exact story. I've heard it, but I don't remember it. But I know basically when Austin was able to say F you to Hogan, he made sure he did. But I'm glad he did, though, because an Austin Hogan match, I mean, yes, they're giant names.
Wouldn't have been the same.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. Like, it would have been cool, and there would have been some great moments probably. And it would have been a great on a poster, and you can see it, but just Hulk Hogan versus The Rock made more sense. I thought it then, because remember Austin wrestled Scott Hall on this show. He wrestles him, 2 matches before, in a 10-minute singles match. He beats Scott Hall, where Scott Hall doesn't even drop to a knee to take the stunner. But it just didn't make as much sense. Like, it would have been cool, but it just, Rock versus Hogan is that, and that's why also too, Rock versus Cena, like Batista and Randy Orton could also be considered like close to where Cena was, of biggest stars and title winners or whatever at that point when they had that. But it had to be Rock versus Cena too. Same kind of thing. There's just certain icons with the entertainment and the charisma and just the complete package the way they were. And the fact that we got this match is pretty incredible,
This was The Rock that hasn't become a Hollywood genius yet. And
No, it's like I pretty much feel like we're almost because he does this. This is March 2002, and then he wins the title pretty soon after that, so he can then lose it to Brock at SummerSlam, and then he leaves. Yep, exactly. And he goes and films. Is it the Scorpion King then, or is it what? Yeah, I think it's Scorpion King is that first. I think then, yeah, and then and then he starts making his other movies, and that's where Rock goes with it, but. It still was just one of those matches where it's 16 minutes and 24 seconds and just that it's amazing. It really is. No,
I have watched this with the sound off, totally different.
Oh God, I can't even. Yeah,
I did it just for kind of an experiment just to see.
Right? I could see that because this match is.
I was bored shitless. I'm like, I can't watch
the match
this.
Is great too. The match is fantastic. Yeah. For sure, for what it is, but it's not. It's fine for what it is, but with the crowd, like you need that. It's not. The match is what it is on its own, but the crowd just make. I almost feel like the other way
because I'll normally.
No, you could watch this match with your eyes closed, and it would still, and you would get more that way than if you would without the sound, right? Like,
because I'll watch like when I'm doing stuff, I'll eat dinner and put the headphones on and listen to shows and stuff, and I'll watch wrestling on TV with no sound.
Okay.
I do it all the time. I'm just watching old stuff. I just did it with this match to see, and I know this is not going to work for me, brother.
No, it makes sense. No, I get you. I didn't think that's so crazy though to think about that way though. Or this might be one of the few, not a few, but there's certain matches and certain memories, certain things where you could watch the match blindfolded and you would still get a lot out of it, but as we're watching it without, it totally takes because I mean the crowd God, remember the pandemic era wrestling, like woof. I don't care what you tried to pipe in, it just didn't work. The crowd makes so much of a difference. I mean, that's
absolutely
that's why the Cody versus Roman, as great as that all was to watch, the crowd popping at every instance of Cena and Rock and Taker and all that. That's what makes it. That's that my friends is professional wrestling and why George and I love it so goddamn much. This was
that was the classic match of the week. And what's George going to pick next one? Stay tuned.
We will talk about it this Sunday on our spaces, or maybe the next Sunday, whatever, give you time to pick one. I like it though. This was fun, but thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, and also comment with matches that you'd like us to review. We've got lists, but we're going to continue to do this for a long time. So if there's matches you want us to cover and why, let us know. Leave a comment of what you think of this match too. If you like this match, you remember this match. If you didn't like it, hey, whatever. We want comments from everybody. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will catch you next time, everybody. Peace.